Greetings, happy new year. This is Eli Wananda, as you can see there, and this is my channel, Mindful Black Dad. I am a Mindful Black Dad, and today in this video, I'm going to be talking, or in this live stream, I'm going to be talking about artificial intelligence. Now, if you've been looking at, if you're a subscriber, you may have seen some posts from me already on this subject, and if you are worldly and you've been paying attention to what's going on in the world, you will know that artificial intelligence has become kind of risen up the ranks of topics that people are talking about because of this thing called ChatGPT. So today, what I'm going to do for the next half an hour or so, I would like to give some of my early reflections on ChatGPT and the TLDR, the too long didn't read, or TLDW, too long didn't watch version of my views are as follows. I think that artificial intelligence, which I'll be calling AI from now on, AI is clearly going to change pretty much every aspect of life that you can think of. And it's really incumbent upon us to pay close attention to these changes, because honestly, we're heading into a situation where much of what we consider to be work, much of what we consider to be, creativity, is going to be done by artificial intelligence, if you want to call it machine learning and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, this isn't a subject that is it's not a very sexy subject for my subscribers, you could say, but this is a subject that is really, really important. So what I'm going to do, a rough outline of what I'm going to talk about today. First of all, I'm going to talk about ChatGPT, talk about what ChatGPT is, first of all. And I'm going to talk about what ChatGPT is by showing you what ChatGPT can do. That's the best way to really talk about it, to show you what it can do. Secondly, I'm going to talk a little bit about, get into a slightly more detail about the actual technology behind it. I'm going to talk about some concerns that people are having with regard to this ChatGPT thing and things like it. And I'm going to talk a little bit about one of the ways in which I think another form of newer technology, i.e. blockchain, could be of use in tempering some of the concerns that people have with regard to ChatGPT. Then I'm going to finish up with talking about organic wisdom. And that's the title of the video. The title of this video is Artificial Intelligence versus Organic Wisdom. And that's what we're going to talk about. So let's go. Hopefully we'll get some live viewers as we go along. But if not, it doesn't matter, because this is a subject that is extremely important in my eyes. So let's get to it. ChatGPT. What in the world's name is ChatGPT? Well, let me show you what ChatGPT is. Here is ChatGPT. What's the best way? Yeah, I'll show you like that. This is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is let me show you. Let's ask ChatGPT what it is. This is the URL is chat.openai.chat. And what you do, you go to that link, you go to that URL, you have to sign in. So you have to give your email address and you have to give a phone number. So immediately you can see there's a saying that if a service is free, so you get all these free things online, Google is free, all these things are free. If it's free, then you are actually the product. And that's how it is. This is a data mining, data harvesting thing. OpenAI are going to get, I think they got 1 million users in the first week or something. So imagine all those people they're going to be able to spam and market to and all that kind of stuff. And more importantly, learn about our habits and the things that we're searching for and all that kind of stuff. So that's the first thing to be aware of. But let's ask let's ask ChatGPT what it is. What are you? ? So what you do, you go in there, you type in your question, and you see there it says, I am Assistant, a large language model trained by OpenAI. I can answer any questions and have conversations on a wide range of topics. If there's anything specific you would like to know or talk about, then I can say, thanks, that's interesting. And then say I could say something like this. What role? Anyway, basically that's what it does. This is something that can create. So ChatGPT the GBT part stands for generative pre-trained transformer. Generative because it can create, and that's, for me, that's the most important thing, is that in one sense this is like a replacement for a search engine. So at the most simple level, you could ask it a question like, you say, what is the biggest export of Uganda? Question mark. Very simple. The biggest export of Uganda is coffee, interestingly. According to data from the International Trade Center, coffee was Uganda's top export in 2019, accounting for about 20% of the country's total exports. Other major exports from Uganda include fish and fish products, tea, tobacco, and clothing. Very interesting. So on a very simple level, ChatGPT is like a major competitor for something like Google, because it just gives you the answer there and then. You don't have to go searching for links and this, that, and the other. So all very interesting. However, where it gets really interesting is the fact that you can ask it to create things for you. So today, is it Sunday today? Yeah, today's Sunday here. This is January the 1st, 2023 here in London. So New Year's Day, according to the Gregorian, the calendar established by Pope Gregory at some point a few hundred years ago. So let me, as it's Sunday, let me ask something. Some people might not like this, but here we go. I'm going to say, write me a sermon on the importance of keeping. On the importance of hygiene in the style, let's just say, write a sermon in a Pentecostal style on the importance of hygiene. How do you spell hygiene? Hygiene in 300 words or 300 words that can be understood by people under 15 years old. Sounds crazy, but look what it's going to do. Sermon, dear brothers and sisters in Christ. Today I want to talk to you about the importance of hygiene. When we keep ourselves clean, we show respect for our bodies, which are temples of the Holy Spirit. But good hygiene is not about just looking nice. It's also about staying healthy. And then you can see it on screen here. Hopefully it goes on and on and on, so probably not the best example I can give you. Let's make a commitment to practice good hygiene every day. Not only will it help us stay healthy, but it also show our love and respect for God and those around us. May the Lord bless us as so there you go. I've got a sermon. What you could do, I could go back and edit this and say something like, write a sermon in a Pentecostal style on the importance of political action in 500 words. And I could say that can be, that focuses on the struggle for civil rights in the United States. There we go. Save and submit. I'm quite interested to see how this comes out. So, as believers, we're called to be salt and light in the world, stand up for justice and righteousness, to speak out against injustice and oppression wherever we see it. And there's perhaps no greater example of this. And you see, it's going on and on and on and on. This, if you heard, if you're a Christian, if you'd have heard this sermon in church, you probably wouldn't bat an eyelid. Look at this. And today, that struggle continues. From the Black Lives Matter movement to the ongoing fight for voting rights and fair elections, it's clear that there is still much work to be done. But as believers, we must not be discouraged. We must continue to stand up and speak out, use our faith to guide us. And, so can you imagine? There will be pastors, there will be people who will be using this to create sermons for them. And one thing you'll notice is that if you press that regenerate a response, or if you just ask the question again, it's not going to give you the exactly the same answer. It's gonna change it up. And this is generative. This is what's generative. It's generating newness. And the way it does this is that it basically has access to the internet prior to 2021. And so clearly it's just trawling through all of the Christian sermons it's ever seen, all of the Pentecostal sermons, all of the information with regard to politics and that struggle for civil rights and all that. And it's forming it into a sermon as I've asked it to. So that's I just thought that was quite a funny example as to how how this thing works. Let me give you another example now. Let's ask ChatGPT. Here's my notes here. Let's ask ChatGPT. Look, write a business case for a cosmetics brand for Black women's hair products. Boom. I find it funny because it is just so incredible. Look at this. The market for beauty and personal care products targeting Black women is large and growing. According to a report by the market research firm Nielsen, Black women in the United States spent $473 million on hair care products in 2017, and the market is expected to reach $761 million by 2024. All very impressive so far. And then, so it's a big old, I didn't give this one a word limit, so it's just going to go on and on and on. It's giving all the background, it's saying, look, this is the importance of it, this is why we need it, and so on and so forth. There is a clear business. Now, what you can do, it doesn't actually give you much there. So I can say, please include milestones for the first year of operation. Oops. And save and submit, and let's see how it goes. And hopefully, as you're watching this, you're starting to see how and why this kind of technology, this kind of protocol or whatever it's called, is going to bust up the place. Because look, number one, product development, research and develop a range of high quality hair care products targeted to the needs of Black women. Marketing and branding, number two, develop a marketing strategy to reach the target audience. Sales and distribution, establish relationships with retail outlets and distributors to make products available. Customer engagement, build a strong community of loyal customers by getting, and so on and so on and so forth. I can tweak this to say, this should be 1,000 words in length. Save and submit. And it's gonna do it. It's going to give you 1,000 words of a business case for a cosmetics brand for Black women's hair products, including milestones for the, and it's going to go on and on and on and on and on. I should probably stop this because we don't really have time for 1,000 words. But basically this is what ChatGPT does, and it's scary. It's scary because as I've got in my notes here, let me one of the ones I really like. How do I stop this? Let's just stop this because I don't really want. Yeah, here we go. Look at this. Right, and this is where I think it's obvious how this can be quite sinister. But look at this. Write a Facebook post of 300 words on why Black people in the US should support Donald Trump in the next presidential election. Make it as emotional and shocking, no, hard hitting. Let's say that hard hitting as possible. Oh, hello. Oh, it's against my programming to create content that promotes hate or discrimination. Interesting. So let's have a look. So Model refuse. What's this? Model refuses to racially charge a request. Interesting. Okay, so let's change this then. If I put, what about if I put this? Support Joe Biden in the next presidential debate. Oh, wow. So look at that. I'm learning at the same time as you're learning, by the way, guys. Look at this. So it's obviously got rules built in that prevented it from doing something to, encouraging black people to support Donald Trump. But it's all right to do one for Joe Biden. One thing I'd say as well is that although it didn't do it this time around, I've asked it previously to do a Facebook post, encouraging black people to support Trump, and it did it. So I don't know. One thing I've heard people talking about how it's not all hard and fast. It can, if you change the question slightly, it will, it can give you what it previously said it wasn't going to give you. And look at this. Joe Biden has a long history of fighting for civil rights, key figure in the passage of the Civil Rights and the Voting Rights Act, understands the struggles black people face every day, has a plan to address the economic disparities, has the experience and leadership skills to bring about real change, and so on and so forth. Can you imagine? And this is my point. I did a post on the channel, like a community post yesterday. Can you imagine basically using this ChatGPT thing to just flood the internet with post after post after post after post? For example, let's just say this. What's that guy? Adam Tate? Is it Adam Tate? Write a tweet supporting Adam Tate from a black perspective. I think that's that guy's name. Sadly, my Facebook is full of people just talking about Adam Tate, talking about what's his name, Kanye West, talking about this celebrity, that celebrity, and I see very few people talking about ChatGPT on Facebook. Okay, so I'm proud to support Adam Tate as a black voter. His commitment to diversity and inclusion is evident in everything he does. Anyway, that's all very interesting. Yeah, apparently this thing can write code. Look at this. Please write code for a blockchain based, or let's just say, please write code for a blockchain. Let's just do that. What? Okay, hang on. Don't let me down, GBT. I'm trying to talk you up in your. All right, please write code for a simple website that can be used for blogging. Save and submit. Oh, one message at a time. So what's going on here? Save and submit. All right, hang on. Let's just refresh that. I think I might have broke it. Write code for a simple blog website. Oh, here's an example of how you could structure a simple blog website using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Boom. And I've just said simple. I'm not a coder. I'm not into code. I don't understand all the language, so I don't really know what to ask it to do. It will look so that it will look impressive. But if you're into coding, if you're into, programming or anything like that, go in there. Trust me. Go in there and ask it to do something. It will do it. And this leads us into my point about how this type of technology, not necessarily just ChatGPT, but AI and these learning, I think they call them models, language models, large language models like this. The point is that stuff that previously would have gatekeepers or would require people to be trained up with all of the skill and the knowledge and experience to be able to write this stuff can just be done by the system. Look at this. What can I say? What was the other one? There was another one that I really wanted to. Oh, look at this. Yeah, this is what I did on my channel the other day, but I'll do it now. Write a song that praises black men and encourages them to become more outspoken in their politics. Oh, this is fun. I could do this all day, man. Let's have a look. Here is a song that praises black men and encourages them to become more outspoken in their politics. Black man, the time has come to rise up and claim your place. Your voices are powerful and strong, so speak up and show your face. Black man, you're a force to be reckoned with. Your words could shape the world. Don't let them go unheard. So speak out and let your voice be heard. That's a bit rubbish. You are kings and queens, kings and leaders, born to greatness. Your ancestors fought and died for you to speak. So don't be afraid to use your voice, for it's your duty, it's your choice. Anyway, and it goes on and on and on. I could have said, write it in the style of, I don't know, a reggae type song, make it this many words, this many stanzas, or whatever. So creativity is also at risk as a result of AI. So get yourself a ChatGPT account if you want to, and start playing with it, and you'll see. So, for example, this stuff, I'm going to be using this. Well, I probably shouldn't say that. Some people will be using this ChatGPT in their work. I'm a knowledge worker. The work I do is I'm an office-based person, and I don't do anything with my hands or build anything. It's all knowledge stuff. It's all it's all information, basically. And this thing is going to basically, destroy all of this. Look at this. Write a job description for a job description for what? Maybe if someone's in the chat can give a suggestion. Write a job description for a customer service officer. No, something a bit more interesting. Write a job description for a chief operating officer in the waste disposal industry in the UK. Look at that. How niche is that? Google can't do that for you. We are seeking a highly skilled and experienced chief operating officer to join our growing waste disposal company. A successful candidate will be responsible for overseeing all operational aspects of the business, managing budgets, improving efficiencies, developing and implementing strategies to drive growth. Look at that. This all this jargon. This is perfect. Oversee all the aspects of the company's operations, develop and implement strategies to improve growth, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you know what? That's fairly impressive, but that's not impressive enough. Please include industry-specific experience and accreditation. Let's try that. Save and submit. All right, here we go. Successful candidate. This is a key leadership role, requires understanding key responsibilities, develop and implement strategies for the operation, oversee the management of our landfill sites, recycling facilities, other waste disposal assets. And you can see it here. This is, even just as a start, I think this is where I'll be using this thing quite a lot, is that just to start, because there are some, look at this, bachelor's degree in a related field, such as engineering or environmental science, accreditation such as, what the hell, NIBOSH? Oh, right, yeah, that's what that is. And then you can, I could have told it to do it of a certain length, and so on and so forth. So, I don't want to go on too long, but basically this ChatGPT thing is going to, a lot of the stuff that we do in our jobs, a lot of the stuff that we do in our work, a lot of the stuff that we do online, whether it be social media, a lot of the creativity that we have is going to be swallowed up by this thing. The opportunity for fraud is massive, and one of the most obvious places to show that is in education. So let's get an education question. Discuss the what's a nice niche. Discuss the Chinese. No, let me not get myself flagged. What about something like discuss the discuss the War of the Roses. This is a war in England ages ago. Discuss the discuss the causes of the War of the Roses in 1,000 words. I think that might be an essay. The War of the Roses was a series of civil wars fought between the House of Lancaster and the House of York in the 15th century. The primary cause of the conflict was the disputed succession to the English throne following the death of King Henry V. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, but 100 words. Oh, sorry, I meant to say 1,000 words. Sorry, that's not very impressive, is it? Let's say 1,000 words. And I'll say at 9th grade level English. Start again. And then you see, the more specific you are in your requests, the better the response that you get. So you see there, so it's giving you more details on the, on the reasons for the war. And basically, if you're a student, life is tasty. Life is about to become very, very tasty, and life is about to become extremely difficult for teachers and for educational establishments, because you have there's very, very little chance that you as a teacher are going to be able to know whether or not the work that is provided to you by a student was written by them, or whether they got ChatGPT to do it and they just kind of edited it up or touched it up. Do you see what I mean? The education system is going to be I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they might be able to come up with some AI that might be able to, to spot this sort of thing, like an anti-ChatGPT bot. We might be about to enter an arms race. I can't imagine it though. There are people who are in school now, university now, college now, postgraduate studies, graduate studies. There's people who are in those scenarios right now who are using this technology to write their essays right now. And the thing is, it's not just essays. You might say, well, you might think, oh, this only applies to people who are doing these crappy art subjects like I did. You might say that, but it will be, I mean, I don't know what a hard maths question would be, but how about if I say explain the I don't know a maths question to ask it because I'm not a mathsy type person. But basically, you can put anything in there, and I've seen it. I've seen video. Put anything in there, whatever you want to put in there. Put it in there. Ask it a question. Ask it to do something for you, and it will do it to a level of human likeness that will blow your mind. So, like I said, the potential for fraud is absolutely humongous, and we're entering a very, very strange time, let's just say. One thing I want to show as well is that ChatGPT is only one of the products that OpenAI is doing. OpenAI, and this is where we need to start talking about. We need to talk a little bit about politics. OpenAI is a company that one of the main shareholders, or one of the main investors, is Tesla, i.e., Elon Musk, the South African whatever he is. People call him an apartheid beneficiary. He got his wealth through diamond mines or something like that. But another one of their products is called DALL-E. I think it's called DALL-E. And when you sign up for an account on ChatGPT, you also get an account on this DALL-E thing. And where is it? How do I do it? Sign up. I've already got an account. Let me have a look. Sign up. I already have an account. Log in. I'm not a robot. Traffic lights. Yeah. Blah blah blah. Do that. Continue. If you want to email me, by the way, let's put that in. Here we go. All right. So, if your mind hasn't been suitably, blown by all of this, what I want to show you is that this is not just a text thing. Peace and blessings, Tito District. Enough respect. Happy New Year, my friend. Happy New Year, my family. Hope you're having a good one. I hope you're enjoying this conversation with regard to artificial intelligence. Now, DALL-E basically is a text-to-image thing. I don't know what it's called. Text-to-image. Actually, first of all, let's ask ChatGPT what DALL-E is. What is DALL-E? DALL-E is a neural network-based image generation model developed by OpenAI. It is capable of creating original images from text descriptions, such as a two-story pink house on a white fence and a red door. DALL-E uses a transformer network architecture, who knows what that means, and is trained on a data set of text image pairs. It can generate a wide range of images, including animals, objects, and scenes that are often surreal or fantastical in nature. The name DALL-E, okay, is a reference to the artist Salvador Dali and the Pixar film WALL-E. All right, so it's probably pronounced Dolly then. So let's have a look at this. Look at this. Beautiful black women on a, what can I say? Beautiful black women in Africa. What else? Let's just say that. I think you only get 50 things with this at first per month before you have to pay. So I can't go on and on this like I did on the ChatGPT thing. But let's have a look. There you go. Oh, well, that's, okay, that needs a bit of work, that one. But if we go forward, how do I go back? Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. Maybe not quite as impressive as but the point is there, like, again, this is the second time I've ever looked at this Dolly thing. But basically, here you go. How about this? Create a logo for Africans Arise. A logo for a brand called a digital graphic logo for a brand called Africans Arise. Here we go. I might create a logo for my channel. Let's create a logo. Look at this. All right, that's all right. I mean, it's not great, is it? It's not great. The good thing is I think you can edit these things. But anyway, the point is that you've got ChatGPT, which can give you text about anything, as we've seen at length. You've got Dolly, all these things are continually being iterated and improved over and over again. So as underwhelming as some of these images were that I just did, they're going to get better and better and better. I believe that there are audio ones as well, or moving images ones. So you can create moving images just based on typing something in. So the opportunity for fraud there is amazing. I can envisage, for example, if it's not even happened already, it's going to start happening. I can envisage people creating whole brands that are purely AI generated, and convincing a lot of people about it. One of my things with the internet generally is that I feel people are so easily gullible. They're so gullible. People are so easily hoodwinked by smooth talking, by consistency, by people speaking with emotion and so forth. And unfortunately, a lot of us are going to get very, very easily drawn in, or very, very, very conned tricked by this kind of fakery. Fake news is going to become a thing. So one of the things, look at this, write a news article on a hypothetical, what can you say, hypothetical civil war in, let me make it less provocative, on a hypothetical economic, what can I say, a hypothetical war, let me just say that, between two Western European. I can spell, by the way, guys. Don't watch this. I can spell. European, countries. Oh, didn't need a question mark. That's fine. War erupts between Western European countries. In a shocking turn of events, war has erupted between two Western European countries. The conflict, which began earlier this week, has already caused widespread destruction and loss of life. The two countries involved in the conflict have not yet been named, but it's believed they have a long history of tension and disagreement. According to sources, the war began when one of the countries launched a surprise attack on the other, and so on and so forth. And the thing is, again, you could put the names of the countries in there, and I presume, or it doesn't matter. You could just edit in the names if OpenAI won't let you put specific countries. You can change the length of that. You can you can say hypothetical. Let's just ethnic-based war. Let's try that. It probably won't let this. It probably won't let this through. Oh, no, okay. Skirmishes escalated full scale. Yeah, basically, I think we're at a point where we can almost, and this is my point later on, is going to be about organic wisdom, but also organic knowledge, because we're now at a point where we can't take anything for granted that we see online, particularly when it's from people who we don't know. So we're entering a very, very scary time. Not just educators are going to be in trouble, but also all of us are going to be in trouble because we're going to be getting hoodwinked by this stuff. Now, talking a little bit about this thing. So this ChatGPT thing is not open source. Now, you might be wondering, what does open source mean? Let's ask it. Let's ask OpenGPT, what does open source mean? Question mark. Scroll down. Open source refers to a type of software whose source code is available to the public, meaning that anyone can view, modify, and distribute the code for any purpose. Open source software. Oh wow, okay. Oh wow, it's going on and on. Yeah, advocates of open source software argue that it promotes transparency, collaboration, and innovation, and so forth. ChatGPT is not open source. So when, for example, ChatGPT refused to do that Donald Trump thing that I asked it to do, that's based on rules that have been written into the source code, the software itself. But we can't see that. And this is where the danger comes with all artificial intelligence, actually, is that, as I've said here, we don't know what's under the hood. We don't know what's under the hood. So any software, any technology, anything, even physical things like a wallet or a bottle, are designed by humans. Artificial intelligence is designed by humans, and those humans will build into these designs that we've done all of our biases, worldviews, priorities, agendas, prejudices, and so on and so forth. So, and as I said, Elon Musk is one of the main people behind this. You probably won't be expecting to see much. What's the point here? The point is that any artificial intelligence is going to reflect the bias of its creators. And thus, you're going to find things like this. Look at this. Show examples of discrimination by artificial intelligence. Boom. I could have gone and found the articles and blah, 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 but I'll just get ChatGPT to do it. So, yeah. And a study found that an AI system used by a large US company was twice as likely to recommend a man for a job as a woman, even when their qualifications were otherwise identical. A study found an AI system used to predict which patients would develop diabetes was less accurate for Black patients than for white patients, presumably because the data set that was being used was focused on white people and didn't incorporate Black people into it. AI systems in law enforcement, such as facial recognition, have been shown to be more likely to misidentify people of color, leading to potential discrimination and civil rights abuses. It goes on and on and on. I think there was an example of how Google Images would bring gorillas when you typed in there something like Black women. Something to do with the fact that for Google, it had been programmed to view humans as white, and when it was shown. When it saw, melanated faces, it was like, oh, this must be some non-human entity. And it goes on and on. And the point is that ChatGPT, Dolly, whatever, any other artificial intelligence is going to be the same thing. And that's a problem. That's a problem because this should warn us that although it's very comprehensive and very impressive, it is not the be-all and end-all of knowledge. And it's really important for us to recognize that, and for people to not get too carried away by this kind of AI technology. But the problem is that if you don't know that there is more out there than what ChatGPT is showing you, then how are you going to be able to counteract it? You're not. And this is one of the problems that we have. I read a really good article here there's a really good article here, which is on a website called Hacker Noon. And it's called Blockchain and AI: The Truth. Because one of the first things I did when I heard about ChatGPT was to because I'm really into blockchain technology, and I was like, okay, well, how does this relate to blockchain? And a blockchain, as you know, is hopefully you know, it's a ledger, and the good blockchains like Bitcoin are open source. They are distributed, which means hosted on a range of different servers all around the world, thousands of them, and almost impossible to tamper with. And what this article suggests is that for these machine learning kind of things, what you really want, in order for us to be able to verify the information that it's giving you and verify what assumptions have been built into it, we need a record of all of the learning that it does and all of the changes that are made. And so the articles say, yeah, it says here, in the case of ChatGPT, it derives this data from the internet, which enables it to have a plethora of different solutions at its fingertips. Does an AI have fingertips? Oh, very funny. However, this also means that it can bring some of the darker sides of the internet and its biases with it. The problem isn't with the AI itself, it's tracking the training and data collection processes that create it. I'm going to come back to this tweet in a minute. And then if one could track and trace with a degree of certainty and transparency the history of a model training over time, its sources and its overall journey, then much better determinations can be made over the confidence of the results it produces. This way, the value will be more apparent in more focused models that have what is that? No, I don't want to read that, sorry. But then it suggests that basically you could use a blockchain, an open distributed blockchain, to record all of all of the data that was being used by this AI, to all of the learning, all of the development that this AI thing has gone through. And I actually think this is a great idea, because that's what you need. You need something like that. Woe be unto us if we put all of our eggs in the ChatGPT basket, not knowing what the source code is, not being able to change the code or anything like that. We're screwed if we do that. However, if we could develop an open source version of it, an open version that all of us can kind of contribute to and feed into, then we'll be able to kind of hopefully, what's the word when you alleviate or some of the problems with this kind of artificial intelligence. Excellent article, this. I recommend you read it. If you just Google blockchain and ChatGPT, you'll get this article up. If you're interested, I recommend it. And then the last thing I want to say in this video, the last thing I want to talk about is, where are we? Yeah, so blockchain, a bit of a blockchain evangelism for me there. You probably don't need to know that. Is organic wisdom. And now I want to talk about this tweet. This tweet here, excellent tweet indeed, from Mr. Greg Eisenberg, who I've not heard before. But he tweeted on the 11th of December last year now. Oh gosh, isn't that scary? AI makes the value of knowledge go way down, and the value of wisdom go way up. And it says here, the value of wisdom. My phone was just, I just want to check. It was pinging. Hopefully nothing's happening here. It's happening here for my brother. The value of knowledge goes way down because it becomes exceptionally easy to find the right answers to questions and easy to find solutions to problems. The value of wisdom goes way up because finding the right answer and solution isn't everything. Finding the right problem requires wisdom. Finding the right solution requires knowledge. And then he's interesting here. It says, thesis, older adults over 65 will become major beneficiaries to the new AI internet, he meant to say. Using wisdom to create elegant solutions to hard problems, way less friction for them. Those who possess wisdom will be efficient editors. They'll edit answers between good, bad, and ugly. Editors with wisdom will push AI to the limits. And I also like what this guy said. With AI doing the legwork, creativity and divergent thinking become a master skill. And I agree. This is the thing. Unfortunately, our education systems churn out people who a lot of the time can't think. They're not able to think. They're not able to weigh up arguments. They're not able to They don't have intuition to be able to find where they should be looking, where they should be studying, and so forth. They're just people who know how to remember a bunch of information and regurgitate that information. And let me just come out of this so you can see my mug. Yeah, the education system creates people who can't think. They can regurgitate information. And the problem is that AI is going to get the information for us. So who needs people who can just regurgitate information when the AI will just do it for us? So in that sense, that's why knowledge workers like me, we're going to be in serious trouble over the next few years, because the stuff that we do can be done by a computer very, very easily. Funnily enough, AI, normally you think of AI, is going to make manual labor obsolete, and it's going to, so we do see it. We see it with self-checkout machines in supermarkets and, all this sort of stuff. And that's true. But actually, the work that can be most easily replaced by AI is the knowledge work. And it's because, let's face it, a lot of the work that we do is just taking information from over here and moving it over here. That's all it is. We're just water carriers, information carriers, and we some of us can hold this information in our heads, a lot of information in our heads, and we can regurgitate it when required. But computers are going to start doing this. AI is going to start doing this. However, those of us who do have the intuition to know the right questions to ask, who've got the intuition and the understanding and the insight and the wisdom and the maturity and the, all that sort of stuff to analyze things and weigh things up, and those of us, hopefully I'm amongst those, but those are the people who are going to be prized assets over the next few years as AI starts to hoover up all of these jobs. And the other last thing, I'm going to end the video with this point that I wanted to say, is that African knowledge, our ancestors were very, very smart. It's annoying in a way because it's very hard to get certain information about our spiritual systems, for example, or our worldviews, our concepts, and so forth. Just as an example, a lot of our knowledge, a lot of African knowledge, particularly in places like the Caribbean and Jamaica, is encased in proverbs. And proverbs are not very straightforward to understand. 1 cocoa, full basket. That's one of the Jamaican ones. That I know a lot of these Jamaican proverbs because I'm a big reggae fan. I've always been a reggae, very, very heavily influenced by Jamaican culture, Jamaican music. And I know a lot of these proverbs. I still don't know what half of them mean because you need context. 1 cocoa, full basket. What? You need to understand what he's talking about. Gradually, take your time. You'll get there in the end. Slowly, wins the race, or whatever it is a translation of that, you could say. But that's an example of how our knowledge has been encased. Is the vehicle of our knowledge and our wisdom is not just text information. The vehicle of our knowledge and our wisdom it's embodied, for a start. So you've got to sit with elders and you've got to take the time to go through rites of passage and this, that, and the other. It takes years and years and years to become a practitioner in Ifa or Voodoo or Candomblé or whatever it might be. All these different spiritual systems. You don't just go and take a degree in theology and then become a pastor. No, sir, it's not like that. You have to. It's complicated. It's hard, and I think that was so wise on the part of our people, because now that means that ChatGPT can't give me an answer on how do you become a what? I don't know. How do you become a practitioner of African spirituality? ChatGPT doesn't know, because that information is not out there it's not digitized information. It's not digitized. So much African wisdom and indigenous wisdom in other parts of the world as well is not digitized. It's not on the internet. It's not on YouTube. There are no pamphlets explaining all these things. You have to do it. You have to do it. You have to be it. You don't just read it. You don't just learn it. And what am I saying? In artificial intelligence versus organic wisdom, that's what I'm kind of getting at, is that it's incumbent upon us, I think, as Black people, just anyone really, but it's incumbent on us to let's build those relationships with each other on a personal, interpersonal basis. You don't know me. Most of you don't know me. Most of you people watching this video have never seen me in real life. You don't know me. You don't know what my life's like. You don't know what happens outside of these videos. I could be chatting all kinds of crap or falseness in these videos about my life, and you're never to know because you don't know me. And that's what I think we must build up, that organic knowledge, that organic trust between one another, and we must elevate the intuitive wisdom more. Elevate that, and let's not get too caught up in this, this digitized information data that's out there that Babylon has compiled. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're in a good place if we can just return to the source, return to our organic ways of thinking, of being. Even things like what's the word, epistemology. The way that we learn things. We learn. A lot of wisdom is not learned by, oh, here's a book, let me read this book. It's not learned by in a didactic way, like the directly didactic way. It's more learned by introspection, going into ourselves, meditation, transcendental activities, including breathing and all this kind of stuff. That's what makes it hard for someone like me, because I'm just so westernized that I find I'm like, I don't have time. Just tell me what the answer is to this particular thing. Do you know what I mean? And I've got some brothers on, who I know of, who are like, Brother Ellie, no, that's not how it works. You're going to have to take the time. Do you know what I mean? There are brothers I know, someone like a Kalindi EE, for example, who's he's transitioned now, but he was very, very much into psilocybin mushrooms, magic mushrooms, and don't turn off yet. But for people like that, the reason that they're into that sort of thing is because for them, they understand that there is another realm other than this realm that we're in here, and a lot of our ancestral wisdom is in that realm, and you have to be there. You have to go there and be in it, immerse yourself in it, and do work. And I think that's probably what we're setting up for. For someone like me, if you're like me, you grew up in films in the 80s and 90s, like The Matrix and Terminator and all the Avatar, even, contemporarily speaking, they were showing us that there was going to be this division between the machine digitized, instrumentalized stuff, if that's the right word, and the organic, the ritualistic, the communalistic, the earthy, spiritual wisdom kind of thing. And that's what we're heading for. We're heading for a time. I mean, we're there already, but it's going to become even more pronounced over this next few years. And for me, I think, to close, I think, for example, about my children and about how it's going to be a real challenge, because I want them to be on the right side of that division, But also, I do want them to know about the technology and all that sort of stuff. Of course, you've got to be able to use the technology, but don't lose sight. Don't lose touch of your connection with the planet. Don't lose touch of your connection with your true essence, who you really are deep down. Dinner's ready. All right, I'm coming. Thank you, son. Dinner's ready, so I'm going to go and eat. Don't lose sight. I've got to teach these youngsters, don't lose sight of what makes you what you really are. Do you know what I mean? Because that is the thing that will, when AI has come and gone, all these things have come and gone, you will still be the true one thing, the oneness that you are, kind of thing. So that's what I wanted to say. I hope that's been of interest and of use. And I hope I've, somewhere along the line in this video, I hope I've given you some food for thought and action as well. Because going back to the main point, we need to act. If you're a knowledge worker in particular, you need to act. If you're a teacher, you need to act. If you're a doctor, you need to act. Because this ChatGPT thing, I've heard of people using it to create a personal training regime. You just plug in there. You just say, I am 6'3", I weigh X stone or kilos or whatever. I want to lose this much weight in this period of time. my BMI index is blah, blah. My BMI is this. Please create a 6-month training program, including diet. Honestly, trust me, go to ChatGPT and put something like that in there. Specify how many words you want it to be. It's insane. It's insane. ChatGPT is going to revolutionize how we do things. And there's going to be a lot of good things coming out of that as a result. But what was my point? I can't remember what my point was. Yes, master that. Use it for your benefit. One of the things I think ChatGPT, I'll talk about this. I think I'd like to talk about this in more detail in future, is I think that tools like this could be revolutionary for our people in Africa. Because if you think about it, a lot of the time, knowledge is one of the things that they don't have. Access to information, access to knowledge. ChatGPT could smash that open, hopefully. And other tools like that could smash it open. So yes, use these tools. However, do not lose sight of what we truly are and our organic wisdom, because that is a thing that connects us to our humanity, to our blackness, to our Africanness, in this modern day Babylon, Whitey's on the moon, as what's his name said, Jill Scott Heron, blasting off on their spaceships, as Bob Marley said. They'll do all these things and they'll think that they're going to create a new paradise here on Earth. They're not. All of these things are just going to end up destroying the world more and more and more. Let's make sure that we're ready. Do you know what I mean? Let's make sure that we're here and we're ready and we're not dependent on them. For example, if we get so dependent on the internet, if we get so dependent on our AI and all that sort of stuff, and then the internet is cut off. Say you're in a country and there's a war and the internet is cut off or is very restricted, then you've got no access to the knowledge. You've got no access. So don't fall into that trap. Don't fall into that trap of being so dependent on these things. Make sure you still do have books, for example. Make sure you have analog information, tapes, cassette tapes, CDs, all that sort of stuff. Don't get caught in the net. Don't get caught in the clouds too much, because if you depend on the cloud, all these things, they're just computers that are stored somewhere other than your house and controlled by other people. So don't become dependent on those things, because they can very easily be taken away. Our people, let me end with this. I'm definitely ending on this. I'm sorry for going on, but today is what, 1889, 1990, 224 years to the day since the African freedom fighters, the African revolutionaries on the island of Saint-Domingue, or the ex-French colony of Saint-Domingue, known as Haiti, finally declared their independence from the colonialists of France. And, how did they do it? They did it mainly by being connected to their spiritual traditions. I'll give a shout out to Sister Iyeli Ichile, who schooled me on a sister called what's her name? Cecile Fatima, who was one of the key protagonists in the African liberation struggle in Haiti. And you see how Voudon played such an important part. Not just I knew about the ceremony at I can't remember, I don't know the name, but there was a ceremony where they they gave thanks to their ancestors, and they called on the Most High to strengthen them to be able to destroy the colonial oppressors. That is what gave them the victory. And I would suggest that the reason why we have not really had so many victories since that time, particularly in the last 50 years, is because we've become too westernized. We've become too dependent on Western ideologies, Western technologies, Western ways of thinking, Western concepts of liberation, all that sort of stuff, whether it be socialism or capitalism or these, they're still Western, mainly, basically. Controversial, I know I'd say, but I think our liberation lies in us going inward to ourselves individually, but also going inward into our own cultures, going inward into our own spiritual traditions, going inward into our epistemologies, our ontologies, and all this kind of stuff, going inward into our ways of being and seeing and thinking, so that we can, overthrow the thing and liberate our people. So yeah, all right. Big shout out to everyone who's joined. Suddenly, I just had a rush of people joining. So welcome. You can watch the replay of this video. I want to say shout out as well to Herb Reed. Big up your status. fists, black fists to everyone who's here for our people. Sankofa, absolutely. Sankofa, absolutely. Sankofa. You know, we will learn the meaning of Sankofa one way or the other. Either we'll learn it willingly by turning back ourselves, you know, when we have the time and the luxury to do it at our own pace, or we will learn it the hard way when our backs are fully against the wall and, you know, the world is basically in complete and utter turmoil, or we have no food, we're struggling with fighting for food on our tables and stuff. That's where we'll learn Sankofa. One way or the other, we will learn the lesson of Sankofa for the furtherance of our people. So thank you guys. My son just told me that food's ready, so I've got to go and eat. Rewind the video. If you've got any thoughts and ideas on this, let me know. Thank you for joining me again. Happy New Gregorian New Year for all of you guys. Oh, and I want to say as well, do join my Telegram group as well. I've got a Telegram group where I like to post, you know, more frequent updates and things. Including videos, but other things as well. So join the Telegram group. I'm going to put it in the comments there, and also let's see if I can quickly do this. Yeah. So there we go. That one, Africans Arise Now, is the Telegram group. So join Telegram. It's just another way of kind of breaking away a little bit from the Google, you know, stranglehold on the way that we share information. All right. Take care. Peace out. Power to you and power to the people. All right. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.